Welcome, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Welcome to Facebook Live. It is the 30th of November, the last day of this month. Can you believe it? We're already on 30th of November, and the year is almost over. It seemed like it wasn't too long ago that we were saying Happy New Year, and now here we are towards the end of the new year. We've done Thanksgiving and everybody's getting ready for Christmas. So let me welcome the panel. We have April today, who is a psychic and has quite a few modalities of healing under her: massage therapy, Reiki, Amadeus healing, quite a few, a long list. So please contact April if you are willing to seek one-on-one help from April, some kind of counseling. And then we have Caesar here, who is a channel as well as a spiritual teacher. Good evening, Caesar. Welcome back. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving, Caesar, with your family. And then we have Ken here. Good evening, Ken, who is part of our core group of meditators. Hello. And then we have Patricia here, who is part of our core group of meditators. One of the things I think I directly actually messaged Patricia about this. I don't know if it was over the weekend or after the last Wednesday's Facebook Live Q&A. You know, Patricia, I am like profoundly humble. You bring up questions, and it seems like we try to we start focusing on you and trying to offer you a solution. I actually find it very commendable that every Wednesday, Ken and you, just like Eileen used to, right? Y'all are available and you offer yourself as it almost is as an example of truth, like Dr. Joe says, right? You offer examples so we can use you. And what we are telling you is not for you. And it's the same thing as one day I was telling Michelle about her yoga. She wanted to be a yoga teacher or something. And then I was honing in on the yoga teacher thing, right, Ken? And it wasn't so much as I'm honing on into Michelle. It's like I'm telling everyone, you have something within you. You have a seed within you. So I mean, yeah, I'm honing into that one person, but look at what the answer is, because the answer is not for Patricia. The answer applies to all of us, right? When April says something to Patricia directly, the answer, the response, the wisdom applies. The insight is for all of us to apply it to our day-to-day lives. It's not just, oh, Patricia needs fixing. No, all of us need fixing, right? So I am like infinite gratitude, Patricia, for the fact that you offer yourself vulnerable, courageous, you open up such poignant questions, and then that becomes like the topic of the day for the Facebook Live Q&A. And it seems like you have a question today as well. So if you want to ask April, and I'll go tag everyone on the live panel, okay?
Thank you, Poonam. Good evening, everyone. I'm deeply humble because many times I come up from the position of ego. So my all say of criticism on myself and wanting to improve my person to be approved by my environment to stop feeling the pain. So my question today is about being on that spiritual path and meditating and doing exercising, and then all of a sudden realizing that my immediate environment is reading me completely as not I intend to, and they're still picking up some stuff that's coming up out of me, maybe some judgments, me thinking that I'm further, more advanced in certain knowledge, and if I'm offering to them, they should follow, and they're not. So maybe that vibrational level, if I actually don't know if this is the ego coming back at me and trying to say, see, all that work you're doing, it's not taking you anywhere, you're still having the same issues, or it's just repeating itself, even though I thought that year after all my efforts, my gratitudes every morning, my yoga, my medical medium, and I'm still not able to turn my life around. So people won't pick up on my old self. I'm still thinking that it's still something that emanates from me, that it's remainder of something I'm trying to get rid of. I don't know if that's a question.
So Patricia, what do you do for work?
I work in business. It's I'm like management in different companies. My last 8 years, there was the pest control industry, small family-owned companies, and in the first one I was operations manager.
So and you're in management.
Right now I'm CSR manager. Yeah, so.
Okay. So the conversation was going on kind of a little bit before, so I was listening then, and I'm listening to your statement now. And I remember one of the panels that we had from before, where, like Poonam was kind of saying before the live started, you can't expect anybody to do anything that you suggest, that you say, just because it may be something that you truly believe, that you feel is the best for them, is the way to enlightenment. The path to enlightenment is not for everybody. The path to healing is not for everybody. There are some of us that are on that path, and there are some of us that will get to that path. And Eckhart speaks of this. That's not everybody's path.
I was just trying to connect on that deeper level with everyone, on a human level, not just be a robot in the office. And I don't know how to, change that. So I see them as people, and they talk to me about their, in the middle of, obviously we talk about business too, and that's, working, I give them advice of how to handle the call or something with the customer, or I take the call and then I'll tell them. So there is a lot of that, but also, that personal aspect. I mean, everybody's personal with everybody else, and I'm the only one that if I say something personal, then, I shouldn't say anything because people take it different. So I just don't know.
So wait a minute. It's not about you. It's about your perception. So again, the glasses that you put on and you see the world through, they are colored by your life journey, your environment, situations, events that have happened. They're extremely colored by your beliefs.
I'm listening. I'm just going to connect my laptop because it's going to die.
So you have this idea that everybody else is connecting but me. I'm trying to, don't do that, Mowgli. I'm trying to connect with everybody as a human. I'm trying to see them as a fellow soul. And I'm trying to convey that, but it's not being conveyed. They're not getting it. And everybody else is close, and everybody else is having these closer relationships, but me. Because the same statement that you made last week is, it's been a year and I have not made any relationships.
No, and if anything, I'm losing. Like, I only got you guys but my personal friends, like everybody left. And so if you have to see me the same way that everybody sees, so what is it in me that it's making it impossible to change?
What are you trying to change?
Whatever was not working in my life for so many years. I don't know.
Yeah. So when we're trying to change for the approval of others, it will never work. When we are trying to be happy for ourselves, it will work. When we are trying to be who we are, just be, right? You choose how you want to be. That determines your behaviors. You do that for yourself. I want to be happy. I want to be calm. I want to be peaceful. I want to, be loving. But you don't do it for the approval of others. As long as you're doing it for the approval of others, it will never work.
I didn't know I was doing it for approval of others. I thought it would be like a side effect of the fact that I was happy and they were seeing me. Patricia, you're so cheerful.
But that's not true, because you've said this before, you are looking for the result because you are comparing yourself to others and you are judging where you are. So you're not just doing it to be happy. You are doing it for approval.
No, but isn't spiritual also like gives you tools to just have a happy life? And happy life means to have happy relationship with other people too, because they're all everyone around us. So I can't just leave somewhere to the monastery and be alone and happy. I have a job.
Yeah. So what I'm going to suggest is that, and I've suggested this before, is you get a hold of me on the side.
I know, I guess.
But for what's going on in your general statement, when we want to be happy, we do it for ourselves. When I started my spiritual journey, which is many years ago, it was because I wanted it, because I needed the peace inside. I needed to feel better inside. And then that is who I became. And I did not care who accepted me, who did not accept me, who was close to me, who was not close to me. That was not an important factor, because it was a relationship that I was having with myself and my higher self. And that was what was important.
How do you make that distinction? Because I thought I was doing it for me. Thought I was saving.
You might have been doing it for you, but somewhere along the lines within the last, 5 months, been listening to you, something broke, because you've been comparing yourself to others. You've been comparing as far as like, well, are they taking my advice? Are they doing medical medium? Are they doing lemon water? Am I close to people? Are they taking me the right way? Are they perceiving me the right way? You started with all this worry and this anxiety. So somewhere the link broke. Within I would say the last 5 to 6 months. It's really been about 5 months. It's something broke. Mm-hmm. And that's what we need to find, is what happened. Because remember, we talked about you could give people advice, but they don't have to take it, because everybody's on their own journey. Some people are not meant to be here to evolve. That's not what they're here for. They're here to just live this life. They have a basic life, and it will stay a basic life. They're not meant to be on this journey. And that's okay. So you just accept where everybody's at. Eventually, if you keep going on this, what will happen is the right people will gravitate to you, but you're putting also a time limit on it. Mm. You're also putting a time limit on it, which is you don't want it, and that's where your measures coming in, like, oh, I've been doing this for X amount of time and I have 0 relationships. Well, I highly doubt you have 0 relationships, because you're very nice and you're very caring. So I would start there with going back to, how do I want to be? And why do I want to be happy? Do I want to be happy so that I can get approval, so I can get people to like me? Or do I just want to be happy because I want to be at peace with me and source, or me and my higher self? That's where I would start, is I would redirect yourself. But I'm going to tell you again to get a hold of me on the side.
I will. I actually booked, Poonam advised me to get the remote, the coherence healing. I mean, I put up all sorts of conditions, including anxiety and like cold feet and hands, my stomach issues, and all sorts of stuff. So, and I signed up for next Thursday.
If you would quit judging, that would be another thing, is quit judging yourself. That would relieve so much of your sadness.
And how, just if it comes up, just say change or stop.
Well, I mean, I've talked about there's an actual way. So it's called neuroplasticity within the brain, which means the brain can be rewired, which Joe Dispenza talks about. It can be rewired, but you have to be aware of what you're thinking. You have to become super aware, super conscious of what you're thinking. And you have to stop those thoughts immediately. That's what he really means by, you get up and you look at your phone and you do the same things every day and you think the same things. We're not aware. We're unconscious. You have to become super aware of what you're thinking. You have to catch it and you have to stop it. So I've told you guys this before, some at one point or another. I literally hate getting up in the morning. I hate it. I'm sorry. I hate it. I cannot stand to get up in the morning. I feel that it's unhuman to have to wake up to an alarm clock. I feel like humans should be able to wake up when their body needs to wake up, because it's healthy. If I need 10 hours of sleep, I need 10 hours of sleep. So I have this issue of every morning I get up and I'm like, why do I have to get up? Why are people up at this time? This is when the birds are up. Why do we got to be up? Why can't we just sleep? Like, why? I can't. This is so. And I had this pattern of doing this for so long. Finally, I was like, okay, I got to quit doing this, because I have this 20-minute complaint session. I'm going to put it nicely. And then for me to be like, shut up. I have to get up anyways. I have to work. I have kids. I have to go to school. Just get up. So what I would do is, as soon as it would start, I would stop. Stop. And I would literally tell myself, stop. And I would not allow the conversation to flow. But literally, I'm telling you, I still don't like to get up in the morning. I still feel like our world is not designed correctly for humans and health and all that. However, I don't have that anymore. I don't have that whole argument in the morning anymore. It's gone. Because I did the rewiring, which is what Joe Dispenza talks about. You can use Eckhart's techniques of, this is the ego, this is telling you that you have a problem. Either way, it doesn't matter. You still have to stop thoughts. And if you do it long enough, you will delete that program. So for you, I would become super aware of when you're criticizing yourself, and I would stop it every single time. And that program will, over time, so that's why the meditations are working, but and they're good things. However, the other part of Joe Dispenza's work, this is the other part. You have to learn to train the brain.
Train the brain. Thank you. Thank you.
Like when Eckhart says that the brain's a dog, and you throw it a bone, it runs. You got to train it.
I mean, I tried, especially recently when I had some thoughts that I wanted to do with work, and that was Saturday, let's say. I would say, it is Saturday, I'm home, I'm doing something, like I was like mentally talking to myself, and then say, tell me about this again. It's a good idea, but let's bring it up back on Monday when I'm at work. And it would come back a little bit, and then I would say, Monday. and then it stops. So I did that with those kind of thoughts because I do have, I guess Poonam mentioned that she noticed that I'm a little obsessive compulsive with stuff. So I have to do this now certain ways, and that's why. So that part, but the criticism, it's still, I think, creeping as my part of me somehow. And I not always recognize it. And I think that it's just, a feedback from the outside world that I'm not doing it right.
I don't know if it's a feedback from the outside world. It's actually your own opinion of yourself.
That's what I'm saying. So I see it as a feedback, but it's
not. Right. And it's just a programming that we need to change. We need to turn the channel. We're going to put some Barney on.
Incredible. Thank you so much.
So just before we let April go, how would you, because yes, I would love to contact you personally. I think it's ready. It's time. So which channel would be is it through Facebook Messenger or?
Oh, yeah, Facebook Messenger is probably the best way that people get a hold of me.
Okay.
It's the quickest way to get a hold of me too. So, and then we can schedule some time where we can just talk.
Okay, and for whoever is listening, please do the same if you need to. Because yeah, I actually used a lot of your tips from different workshops, like mental stuff, but I guess I don't do it enough maybe, or other stuff needs to happen first too, a little more deeper.
Life is a journey. You have to remember that too. This isn't, it's not a perfectionism, and it's not like, that's it. I should be spiritual. I still have things that I have to work through. I still have things. I'm human. It's a journey. It's a learning journey.
And she has her own challenges as well, personal challenges.
I know, April. That's what's so amazing, that you still show up for our Q&A and you're like not touched by any of it. You can just,
I'm touched. But I am aware, I'm no longer controlled by my emotions. Eckhart, when Eckhart came into my life, it changed my life dramatically. And it's not that I don't have emotions. It's not that I'm not touched. I just don't allow myself to be controlled by it anymore.
So you took the reins back, not letting the mind run the show anymore.
Oh yeah, I don't.
One of the things that April touched upon, Patricia, you have to look at your initial wound is still that your father did not approve of you. Right? So that initial wound is still not gone. So you are still, and that's the inauthenticity that people are seeing in you, is because somewhere in the back of your mind, you're still comparing your old self of a year back. I was like that, and I still have not changed. I still had broken relationships a year back, or the other job, they said this, right? So you're still comparing yourself to see how your old self, like your body, and that is the reconditioning. We have to, like what April was saying, right? The neuroplasticity is, you have to, this is the body, the memories are stored in our body, the pain body, our pain body, and our body is taking us back into the past and going, oh, look, you didn't do well even a year back or 2 years back, and you didn't do well in your marriage, and you didn't do well and the initial wound is your father wanted a son, right? So you kind of have to change that story to see, my real self-realization with that, like I used to have that thing that my mom never loved me because I was a girl child, and in India, girl children are not really looked after. Like we are like second-class citizen, right? And my brother got all the attention. He got the big birthdays. He got the big presents. He got the whatever he wanted. He got it. I realized that the reason why that happened, that particular event happened, that particular, and I love the fact that Eckhart says life situation. Those life situations happened to me because my karmic conditioning is jealousy. I was jealous of my brother. Right? So the jealousy had to be healed, right? I needed to look at the conditioned pattern. Just like I say that my mom's abuse, physical abuse and verbal abuse, was my resentment. The point of attraction was my resentment to her. So you have to look at your father saying, no, I wanted a boy child, is showing you that already you were born with that sense of, oh, I'm not good enough. So that spiritual teacher is showing that, hey, you have that karmic conditioning already, that I'm not good enough. Now I have to prove myself. I have to be the best person in school. I have to be the best person in college. I have to be the best person at work. And the moment somebody says something, even at work, like you did slightly something, some little change, just go to the other person. Like if somebody says, hey, you need to change this about yourself, say, please tell me, give me a month or two, and let's see, let me work on it, and let me see if I can make it more suitable and get more collaborative and cooperative and really empathetic with everyone, right? And start having empathy with everyone, no matter how they are, no matter how unconscious, how much of a pain body they are, no matter how much of the, we have a lot of knowledge, right? That this is a pain body. So unknowingly, we may judge them. Initially, what happens is we look at them and we'll go, oh, that's a pain body. And this person will realize that you already have some kind of judgment vibrationally. Oh, this is a pain body, or these people are gossiping, or these people are.
That's what was happening. Yeah, I was noticing they're just so. I was sitting and doing something, and I was noticing patterns of behaviors that even we talk about during the panel on certain things, or when Eckhart talks about ego, and I saw it so. But I was trying to stay out of it and really not judging, just really. But I was noticing. I didn't know if they could.
But vibrationally, they'll know. But it's pure vibration. The world runs it.
How can I stop seeing it if I see it? Like how?
We don't, just like Eckhart says, right? Like if a person is a robber, it doesn't mean that I don't put my hand in my pocket and hold on to my wallet, but I don't have to say that person is a robber, because who knows, in a year from now, this person may turn to be a saint. I don't need to, we don't need to stop comparing and like this comparison. Oh, this person has the ego. We talked about, Daniela had this question, right? How do we stop judging ego? Maybe a month back, 3 or 4 weeks back, we talked about it. We don't need to, this initially happens when we get a little bit spiritually conscious and we know of Eckhart's terminology and all his patterns, that we start to judge people. Hey, that person is gossiping, or that person is holding on to resentment, or that person has a pain body, or that, but that is all judgment. So we kind of have to have compassion, like bring our state into that nothingness that Dr. Joe talks about, right? I'm a no thing. Have compassion, like compassion, get the center of the magnet kind of, I need to be in my heart center, right? I need to be in my heart place.
And so mentally to change that it's
The moment that thought comes,
thank you for showing me this, or like, I love you anyway. I see that, like, say something to change my energy. So, because I was just not saying anything like physically, I was just like staying out of and not trying to change them. But like you said, if I noticed that maybe the vibrations were still there of judgment and they were feeling it. So
instead of staying out, try and have a conversation. Try and insert yourself and have a conversation and say, hey, my view is this. You could look at it.
Well, I tried too, and then apparently they said, oh, Patricia, just like getting into conversation that we're not, like, we were having a conversation, just she was just budging in. I was just trying to be part of it, completely just about, even if it was nothing, but that was not good enough apparently either. So I'm just like,
but look at your energy. Look at your energy right now.
I know.
Is this the energy of somebody that is compassionate? Is
this
the energy of somebody that's
being defensive?
Empathetic?
No.
Right? So this energy is the energy you're showing up. Like when they say something, you get into your old self. And that is what we need to condition back. Reconditioning our body to a new mind. Your new mind is, I am knowable. I have nobility in me. I'm empowered. I'm inspired. I'm compassionate. I'm the divine. The divine flows through me. When the divine flows through me, do I talk like that? I don't talk like that, right?
That's right.
Right? So you have to notice that urge to talk, when that urge comes, stop it. Say change. Say change, or say stop. Change. Your body is used to talking in that scathing tone internally, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see that?
Yeah.
And
I just saw it very clearly. Yeah.
The moment you do that kind of scathing, abrasive energy, what is the other person feeling vibrationally? That you're abrasive.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're incompatible, right? Nobody wants abrasive energy. So we have to change. So literally, the other pattern that my mom and my grandmother had was anger. I had to change that in me, Patricia, because that same scathing tone is in me. The pattern doesn't go away. We retrain ourselves to talk softly. We retrain ourselves to speak sweetly, right? Because that pattern, I mean, 18 years I've been listening to like violent temper. 18, 20 years of my life, I've heard violent temper, right?
Me too. Yeah.
How is that going to change until we recondition our body? And that's all that is needed. And that'll take practice, like to start to talk in a sweet voice. And that, and the way you were shaking your head and the body getting tense, contraction, loosen. I mean, be in your heart. Be one mind, one heart, right? Give your heart a mind and give your mind a heart. Give your mind a heart.
Yeah, I guess that even if I tried in certain situations, say something nice, maybe I didn't feel that it's me because it felt so unfamiliar that maybe other people like didn't trust it. It's like, oh, you know, she's nice. Maybe that, but because I was not comfortable with it very nicely.
Right.
They felt, even though I meant to be that, but there was some kind of
practice. It'll take practice, and it may be that this job is, your manager says that this is not the job for you, and you move on, you find another job. It may end up being something of that nature.
They are fine. So, I mean, it's not, but I'm sitting sometimes and I observe the chaos, and they're making themselves so upset and they're cursing because something happened.
Okay.
I'm like,
it's okay. It's okay.
And I can't do anything. I'm trying to be helpful, but I just getting, you know, like, we need to stay in our chaos right now. Stop offering your golden, like peaceful advice that,
because living by the hormones of stress is an addiction. That adrenaline, if you listen to Anthony William or you listen to Dr. Joe, we are addicted to that adrenaline rush, just like a dopamine hit, like the drug hit. We are, the body will say, why aren't you angry right now? So they are addicted to that dopamine hit of that adrenaline coming through them. They have to be angry and New York and Philadelphia, that area is incredible at that. They'll be in traffic and getting mad at the traffic and yelling at each other and honking at each other, and then driving in that road rage, right? And then you come to work and then you fought with you don't know, like they may have fought with their mothers, they may have fought with their, not have a good relationship with their partner, and then they're coming to work. So compassion, let them be addicted to their adrenaline, and you be yourself. You bring the peace. That's why I said, take a break, go to even Dr. Joe says, he does not, what advice I gave you last week or the week before, I don't know when, I said, take your 20-minute meditation. The moment you feel out of whack, go take your 20 minutes and do your meditation. And Dr. Joe's, I forgot to tell y'all that Dr. Joe says he does exactly the same thing. And that's why I absolutely love Dr. Joe, because he's exactly a person like us. Mm-hmm. He's not Eckhart. Eckhart just sits on his couch all day and just like goes into presence, right? Dr. Joe is not that way. He's running a company. He's flying every month. He's arranging for 1,800 people to be in a place, right? He's running a 7-day show. So he says that there are some days that he's on a Zoom call or something and he gets agitated. He leaves the call. He does not come back to the call until his heart is in coherence. It takes 15 minutes, let it take 30 minutes. Sometimes it takes 45 minutes to an hour. And people, his team is waiting on him. But he says, I will not make a decision without my heart being in coherence. Mm-hmm. That is such a beautiful example. I will not make a decision, or I will not have this conversation if my heart, like when he gets agitated, he just gets up and leaves the call. And these people are waiting for him to make some really critical decision or something, right? But he's gone. He's going to go meditate.
He has amazing awareness, though, that it's happening, because for me, in certain things, I have that intention and I start the conversation as such, and then someone makes a comment and I will go with it, and then I'm finding myself now defending myself, and it's like somewhere in there I lost that
awareness.
And
give yourself some time. Give yourself some time with the meditations. You just started a regular practice, right? Like it's been a couple of weeks or so. Give it 5-6 months and give yourself time with the meditation. It will improve. Your self-awareness will improve. Let me go to Caesar and let's see what Caesar has to say. Thank you, Caesar, for waiting.
That was just some beautiful, beautiful advice, Poonam. Absolutely touching, and I totally agree with everything April said as well. So there's some great, great insight and advice for starters there, Patricia. And so I'm going to kind of piggyback off of what Poonam was saying pretty much about the energy. It's like, two dogs fighting, and here comes the peaceful poodle. Last thing they want to see is the peaceful poodle. Let them do their thing, because it's a matter of when the energy is intense like that amongst a couple people, the woo-wee thing, in that situation, I'm not sure I would even offer advice. I would just kind of turn the blinders on and just block that right out immediately. Because, and the point is, I mean, there's a give and take as far as adapting to the energy in the room or influencing the energy in the room, because you have that choice. Obviously, you don't want to adapt to the energy when it's chaotic. And you got to understand also that the people amongst your office are probably unconscious. So you got battles of egos and nonstop. And as soon as something pleasant comes about, you're going to get attacked for it. That's almost a gimme. And at the same token, it comes back to the point of attraction. What kind of energy are you putting out there that you're getting this energy back?
Right.
So maybe the energy is shedding unto you, and then you become that. But are you mostly in this state of anxiety or?
No, that's the funny thing is that I used to feel my heart was always pounding, my stomach was nuts. Right now I'm sitting, observing it, and I'm checking with my body, and my body's okay. But I guess my mind is still trying to judge stuff. But at least I got to the point that I come either through all that meditation and medical medium that my adrenals, I don't drink coffee. So I did also certain things mentally and physically that I calmed my body physically, so I don't get that heart palpitations that I used to, like sweats. I used to sweat all of a sudden, get like physical reaction of fight and flight.
Sure. Normal.
Right now, I'm just like, okay, I'm fine, even though it's going on. But
so, I mean, you've made steps along the way, and would you consider that growth? Or at least steps in the right direction?
Yeah, I haven't been crying for so long, but maybe on our call here and there, let out. And yeah, today after so many, like first time since I started working, I actually got tears a lot when we had that long conversation with the boss today, him and I. All of a sudden, I was like, I'm sorry, that's not a sign of weakness. It's just something being released. But I felt I wasn't apologizing, but I kind of didn't want him to feel uncomfortable that it's my somehow body reaction to something. But I wasn't feeling like a victim. I was just like here, I'm talking to you guys too, and my tears are sometimes going. It still have, so this part of reaction is still here, present.
Is that gratitude? Is that tears of joy, tears of gratitude that you're feeling when the emotions come out?
No, they weren't gratitude. They were sorry for myself.
Okay, so I mean, one, you're analyzing things way too much. If you had to take a problem of one of the people, let's say the worst one, quote unquote, the worst one in your office, what would you say it is about that person? He is or she is what? What do you see in that person? Just one word. What are they?
Angry. And that's also what, like, out of situation, yeah, I see them being angry for life. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, situation is, why add all that stress and anger if we can just see it and solve it? So it's
because everybody is responsible for their own energy. There's, and like Poonam was saying, there's an April touched on it, the validation. I mean, you're delving into your past saying, nothing's changed. Why am I still like this? Why are things still the same? Well, you're going to be, no matter where you are on your journey, life and these type of situations, people are gonna show up. As far as the relationship thing in your life right now, presently, that's just a sign to me saying that this is your time to work on you. The relationship that is important to Patricia right now is the one with herself. Perhaps that's why there are limited relationships. But truth be told, I don't think any of us really have many relationships. We're lucky to have a couple quality relationships, but that's not important. What's important is the relationship that you have with yourself, and everything that Poonam touched on as far as, all you have to do is just be. That's it. Don't worry about what other people think. If you know that offering advice to try to help somebody is going to make them attack you, then just let it be. You know, them little things, man. Just be, let it be as it is. You know what type of reaction you're going to get by offering whatever it is you're offering advice,
Yeah,
whether it's personal.
I
And I
noticed something ugly about myself. Sorry to interrupt you, but something came out that I sometimes make the passive aggressive comments. It's
sure.
like little, I think it's neutral, but there is a dig in it. So they get the dig, I guess, even though, when you
Sure.
afterwards think about, oh, this is what I said. I didn't mean anything by it. But in the
And
moment,
if you are, if you're in this happy place and they see Patricia being this calm soul, just flowing, she's at peace, she's always smiling, she's always happy, and then here I am over here just always angry and got my head in this work so frustrated. I got my home life is crazy and God, you just irritate me. How do you just sit there and be so peaceful? That's how people are. That's just how people are. And you cannot let affect what other people think or even say affect you. You're allowing that control. You're allowing them to dictate your feelings. Allow you to dictate your own feelings. Be light, be love, be joy, be gratitude, be these happy, high vibing feelings because they feel good. Because as soon as you adapt or poke the bear and you know the bear's going to scratch you in the face, don't poke the bear no more. Let it be. It is what it is. And if that job don't work out, hey, go somewhere else. Seriously, because your peace and joy. But I think there's a lesson in this whole situation right now for you to learn to be practicing. Period.
mm,
It's the opportunity for you to get this right. That's why it's there. It's for you. It's for the greater good of you. The universe says, "Oh, let's see. Patricia needs help in this category here. Poof, there you go. Here's the situation. Handle it, woman. Figure it out." But you can never go wrong with being a loving, caring, compassionate person.
do I
It's
know
that simple.
how? Do I know how even to be that?
Yes, listen, every one of us can validate that I believe we have seen the real you. Been here for a couple few years now. Um, once a week, I feel like I know you pretty good. I feel like I know your heart pretty good, your soul pretty good. April, would you say you know her pretty good? Ken, Poonam, is she not? Would you not consider her a loving, caring, compassionate person? Nobody disagrees with that. Happy? You need to be happy with the fact that you're a loving, compassionate person. That's what matters. As long as you are that, everything else will flow and that happiness will flow through you and into others. And
Mm,
if they don't get it, then they don't get it. You got to understand. So, I mean, I experience this. I'm sure April has. I'm sure everybody has. When you become a little more advanced in this game of understanding how this works, and I used to be an angry person, and I'll just leave it right there. And I used to get mad, and I used to speak out a lot and speak my mind. But I seen how it just creates the negativity. But I'm glad I got to witness what I was doing and what a loudmouth, angry jerk I was. I was miserable. I was miserable. And until you start understanding that you are in control, um, it's going to be a long road. Don't you don't have to thrive to get anywhere. The journey is the journey. That's not a destination. Enlightenment is not a destination. It's a never-ending journey. All you can do is make a couple choices. Choices, I think, are our superpower. Seriously, you have a choice whether or not to be a compassionate person, to be an angry person. You have the
I am
choice.
also, I'm not even feeling anger anymore. Right now, it's just kind of, I guess, disappointment
Sadness.
with myself that I
It's
can't,
sadness.
that I can
But
be bigger, better.
but here, just like both April and Poonam said, why are you not happy with yourself? You're the one that's not happy with yourself. And I believe also, as both of them said, because you're delving into your past, you're seeking the validation. I believe that's true. You're feeling like you're not fitting in. You're feeling like I'm this good person, and you believe that to be true. But now I think there's a little question. You're like, what am I doing wrong that these people don't, I try to include myself in a conversation. I try this, I try that. I'm a nice person. I don't offend nobody. I'm not a bitch. Excuse me. Um, and all they want to do is attack me and hurt me. Oh, you're just blah, blah, blah. Maybe they're just not likable people. They're just not happy people. But I mean, in essence, then I'm going to wrap it up. It's really all about the energy that you are putting out, because that's what you're going to get back. What is the point of attraction? I believe it also goes back. There's a part of you that's not healed. It's got everything to do with where you're at today. That acceptance. Am I good enough? That's what I'm feeling. Um, and it's carrying over, and it happens more, especially with girls from their fathers, for that validation. And now you're looking for it somewhere else. But you are the only one that needs to validate whether or not you are that person. And it's as simple as being, boop, period. It is as simple as just being. Seriously. It's that simple. This isn't no rocket science or secret formula. It's really just a matter of just being who you are, because I can assure you that you are, as you are, an amazing, beautiful inside and out, Patricia. You are a beautiful person. You really are. And the ones that can't see that in you, because they're only looking for that reflection of themselves. When they say, oh, you're just a snobby person, what I hear when people say this about other people, I hear them telling me about themselves. That's really truly what they're saying. That person's a liar. He just called himself a liar. Oh, that person's always angry all the time. He just called himself an angry person all the time. That's really the case. That's why I asked you, what do you see in the other people? Because 9 out of 10 times it's going to be a reflection of yourself that you see in others.
But I also, you mentioned, when they're in a negative state, but I also see brilliance in them every day, laughter and do see, there's a lot of good qualities that I see all the time. So it's more of the good than the bad, but the bad somehow they stand out more.
Because they show you who they are. And you need to go, okay, that's who they really are. On the other hand, a good person will see good in everybody. So there's nobody's pointing the finger at you saying you're seeing this or that in the other people. All I was saying, if you are a compassionate person, and you are a compassionate person, that should be good enough. And all the validation Patricia needs to know that you're a good, compassionate person. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with being a caring, compassionate person? Because I believe that's what you are. Are you not? Are you not a caring, compassionate person?
I think she's saying that what I heard her say is sometimes she has not been compassionate because she had the passive-aggressive statement.
So okay, here and there, you put the little digs in, and you think that's coming back at you as their response. I think that may have very little to do with it, but I could be wrong. But I think it's more so of the validation seeking from your end that's making you upset with you. But again, the advice that Poonam just laid down was absolutely beautiful. Just be love, be compassionate. That's it. And if you're not feeling that, if you're not feeling exactly
Remove
what she
yourself.
said,
Yeah, remove yourself.
passionate, you feel irritated, don't respond, don't make any decisions. That is the most truest thing I probably heard all my whole entire life. What a beautiful way to live. You can never be wrong. You can never be wrong if you really put your heart into everything that you do. Because as soon as you feel anger or sadness and you make a decision, probably ain't gonna be a good one.
Mm-mm.
But if you can do it out of love,
obsessive, yeah, obsessive compulsive. I mean that passive aggressive comments. That's where they're coming from, because I'm feeling, yes, that I'm like not taken under consideration, or oh, I notice that one bad thing about the person, I'm gonna get it out there to make them feel little, because I need to come back in my power somehow. I don't know.
I don't know.
And that goes back to you not feeling good enough. The comeback in the power will go back to you not feeling good enough. So when you are lowered, that's the ego, right? When it feels lowered, now it has to step up the game and do one dig. Hey, I need to poke this,
to feel
twist the knife a little bit more, so that other person feels, right? But that is your old self. So when you feel that urge to, now the awareness needs to grow, Patricia.
Yes.
When you feel the urge to do the dig, right? That you catch it. So now you have this self-awareness that you have this passive aggressive behavior, right? That is beautiful. That's incredible. I'm like so humble. Now that you have, now the thing is when that urge arises, that little, you're feeling less than, right? Oh, I'm feeling less than. Now I need to, then the urge comes, right? There's like a gut has like some kind of irritable feeling, and then the fire rises in the stomach, right? There's an anger kind of fire somewhere in the stomach or in the chest. There's fire, right?
Right now, it feels like something like something badly tasting in my mouth. It's almost like.
Okay, so when you feel that bad taste, then go, oh, bad taste. That means I'm about to say something that's not going to be good, right? The moment you have that awareness, you say change. Then you're retraining your body, because all these years you've used, these 30, 40 years, all your not enoughness with your father, you've used that passive aggressive behavior to bring up your ego. Like every time you were belittled, the ego felt small. It rose up in comparison by doing that passive aggressive. Now I'm going to do one jab, that last word. You know, they always say in a fight between a man and a woman, the woman always has the last word, right? We want to throw that last word. And notice that you want to throw the last word. And just because, oh, I am the manager, that's another ego. Be a servant leader. Serve. How can I serve you? How can I help you? How can I help you grow?
And this is how I found out I was very grateful that I actually saw that, because all I was telling myself that I want to be that, you know, I'm here, I'm a gift, I'm a servant. I'm here. I didn't feel any power and anything. But the minute he said that, you know, I'm not feeling that position, he is not thinking. So when almost like, I'm gonna take it away from you because you're not, you know, being that manager, I just like started to feel choked.
It's okay for
and if I was the servant, it wouldn't be a case, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, like Poonam saying, anytime you feel less than somebody or greater than somebody, that's just as soon as you recognize that either one of them exists within you, that is the ego at work. And that's when you just need to pause. The awareness of it actually dissolves it. And if you can roll them words out of your mouth or your brain, change. That's beautiful. That's telling the brain, look, we're not doing this no more. And then
I'm not going to be my old self.
And because a lot of that is just repetition, autopilot, cruise control through conditioning. That's the momentum that this has worked out with this for many of you.
And the other thing is you can do abundance, A for abundance, like put it under squiggly lines, and then under abundance, you say, I'm going to be like the thing may be that you want a good job, you want people that are cooperative, you want loving, empathetic, compassionate relationship. But on the right-hand side, the sponsoring emotion has to be nobility. It has to be freedom of schedule, right? That you're okay with. If you want to work from home one day, you can work from home.
That's not, I actually love working. I just want to be creative. I want to do projects. I want to be.
Okay, Patricia,
creative.
Just understand the concept. That on the right-hand side, you write the emotion and you focus on developing those emotions. Because is a creative person passive aggressive? Is a noble person passive aggressive? Is a person that is divine, in love with life, passive aggressive?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So then the sponsoring emotion of what you want to be, and that is what we are focusing on. And that's what you do the tuning into new potentials for. You do it over and over and over again until you become. We believe, we behave, we become. We believe that we are that, we behave like that, we behave like a noble person, and then we become. One day it'll turn that you'll generally be that person. You won't even have to think that, oh, I need to be sweet, or I need to be bringing bananas for these people, or what have you. You don't even have to do anything. Incredible advice, Cesar. Thank you so much. Grateful for it. One of the things I wanted to give you a pointer on, in 2012, when I came across Eckhart in 2010. So by the time I got a job in 2012, I was like changing just like you. It had just been a couple of years, right? And there was this one person that kept saying, I don't think there's something wrong with you, that you are never upset, that you're never, it cannot be possible that you're never upset. How can it be that you're never upset? I just kept being myself. In 2015, when he was leaving, he was part of a reduction in force. He was leaving. He finally, that same person came to me, and then he wouldn't talk to me, or it was like one of those relationships that he could not understand the nicety of who I was, right? Because they are internally that way, right? In 2015, finally, he came to me and said, you are the nicest person, and you are the one person that has been consistent. If you were sweet in the beginning, you have still been sweet. It takes time for people to know you. They will not believe your sweetness. Because internally they go, oh, I stay agitated all day. I get angry all day. How is this person sweet? So they're going to go, there's some distrust, right? It's not right for a person to be sweet.
Because they're judging it based on their experience.
That they expect, they're cynical. They're like, they cannot be a person that is sweet all the time. Right?
That's what Eckhart always, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Cesar. And then I'll tell you what.
I was going to say, and that's what Eckhart always responds with, when he says, when people see you for who you are, that is when they will want what you have. And it has nothing to do with your words. It's your nonstop compassionate action and behavior. And if you want to help people, that's what Poonam's saying, is just be that person. And then you won't have to offer your advice. They will come to you for it. You won't have to insert yourself even. I mean, it's that amazing. She's right. That's beautiful advice. Yeah.
And what I would do is I did not, in 2012, I went through a financial crisis, which I wrote in my book as well. So it would be almost like, and I was paying down, I made the conscious decision to not file for bankruptcy and pay down my credit card debt, which was like $60,000 or something, right? So my paycheck, so I was living paycheck to paycheck. There was times that I would just have $20 in the bank. Like, you know, every 2 weeks we get paycheck. The second week I would maybe have $15 or $20, and I wouldn't make it to the next, because part of the paycheck I would immediately, debt collection, it would get deducted and all that. So what I would do is I would use this presence power. You know, outflow determines inflow, right? So I was like, I don't even have money for Eckhart's website, $20 per month. I canceled everything. I canceled cable. I canceled every subscription, nothing, right? Not even to Eckhart's website for a little while. So the one thing I could do is I could appreciate human behavior. So whenever my coworkers would do something, I would say a huge big thanks for your, whatever they did, for your due diligence. Totally amazing. Absolutely grateful for it. I would say a huge big thanks for your perseverance, or whatever the dedication, your loyalty. So, you know, this flow of energy would come from me into them. Now just imagine my whole debt is cleared. 4 or 5 years later, my whole debt was cleared. I'm doing so much more better than what it was. But if people say, I don't have a single penny, does not mean you cannot show gratitude or that outflow cannot be there of presence. So what you need to do is feel that presence and let that, like, acknowledge people and say, and really feel, I'm thankful. Yeah, you're angry, but I'm thankful for the help that you're giving. You wouldn't believe it. Okay, so I used to work as a project manager at a data center, right? So I would say there's a small form factor, like an SFP, that they have to put from one port to another, right? So I would give detailed instructions in the ticket, put it in this port, and this person would go put it in the port, right? They would put it in the wrong port. I would still say a huge big thanks for your painstaking efforts, but that is not the port that I requested. I requested it to be in this port. And then I would call them, whatever, it took me a little bit extra effort to get hold of the person or whatever, like to get them to do the work, right? I mean, you do renovations and construction. How many things go wrong in that, right? Like the labeling goes wrong, or somebody's doing the wire wrong. So I would never, ever tell a person that they did something wrong. I would always say, thank you for your effort, but this is what I want you to do.
Hasn't that become a way of life, Poonam? The compliments?
The data center manager told me, Poonam, you are so incredible. You never say that somebody's wrong.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And look at the amount of energy with which they did my work. Like the moment Poonam's ticket came, everybody would jump and do the work. Like they would love to be on the phone with me. They would love to do, like the ticket would go out and boom, Poonam is getting her work done. And everybody would, like my manager would come to me and go, hey, can you get this done? Can you get this done? Because they knew like my relationships with everybody. And this is not in Texas. This is in Virginia, Miami, San Francisco, everywhere. Like all through the United States, we had data centers, right? To have connection with each and every person, no matter what part of the country you are, right? And to develop, but that was the Eckhart behavior, that outflow determines inflow, that I need to keep, I don't have money. I cannot buy anybody anything. The charity cannot come, but I can at least give appreciation out of my presence, right? I would give that appreciation. Acknowledge, like genuinely acknowledge, not like fake acknowledgement. For a minute, I would take a breath and feel what that person did and I would write long emails, long ticket responses. Everybody would go, why are you doing this much of work? Right? But I kept doing it. I kept doing it. Finally, that one person that was so cynical about me, that was the answer, that I did everything correctly.
Yeah, it
Right?
becomes a way of life, Patricia, and it just really starts one person at a time. And then when you, it's as simple as even smiling at somebody. It's just like paying them a compliment all day long. It becomes a routine. But the energy that attracts to you because you are that way is just forever flowing in that same gratitude, compassionate, loving way. I mean, what she just said was just, woo. I mean, Poonam, you're killing me this evening. No, I mean, absolutely amazing and beautiful. It really is, honestly. I mean, yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful way to live. I can validate everything she just said. Then it really just starts with your decision to do that. We don't
And
need money. We don't need friends. We just need to be compassionate, happy people. You want to make people happy. That's exactly the way to do it. And in turn, the happiness comes right back to you. I got to take a potty break real quick. Sorry
sure,
to cut it.
thank you. So, you know, what I was going to say is start by feeling it and start by appreciating everybody, like just for who they are, right? And see how it goes, and tell your manager, let me work on myself for a month. Give me 3 months. Let me work on myself. Give me 3 months. Give me a chance. Give me 3 months. Go to him tomorrow in the morning and say, my deepest apologies. I take your comments to heart. And my deepest apologies for not being able to respond correctly yesterday. I do want to work on this. Please give me 2 or 3 months. Oh, give me 3 months. I will work on myself and I will build all the relationships back. And do that with everyone, no matter how many mistakes they make, no matter how angry they are. Acknowledge the work that they're doing, because that is what is bringing revenue for this. That person may be in the habit of getting angry and doing their, typing on the keyboard angrily and doing the work that way. It's okay, because they're typing the keyboard angrily, the work is getting done and customers are coming and they're paying your paycheck. Because he's making money, he's paying your paycheck, right? Think of it that way. And that paycheck actually pays for all the vegetables and all for the medical medium stuff. And that paycheck that you pay medical medium stuff pays all the farmers and all the transportation guys. Look at the chain of events that person, angry person typing on the keyboard and getting agitated, is the person that is actually bringing in the money, right? All these people, the relationships, however they are building, is what is bringing in the money, the revenue for this company, right? So just think of it that way. And that is the cycle of life. That is how it is going.
But would you advise me to do it person to person, or because we have weekly meetings and I was going to acknowledge and thank Ralph, which was the service manager, who Monday morning for the first hour was like fuming, but he had 6 technicians called out and he had to, set the work and reschedule and stuff before, all of us came in, and he was very angry. And that energy, he's like, don't touch me, don't come to me. And I actually had a very useful information about one of the texts, the route that the customer emailed me, but he was like not even hearing this. And, he was like, don't talk to me right now. So
when he said that, don't talk to me, that's okay. Then that means the universe doesn't want, so yeah, acknowledge him and directly send him an email or directly tell him, I really appreciate what you did. Now that you recognize that part, right? No matter how angry he was, he did reroute all the technicians and take care of the schedules so that customers would not
right.
This thing, right? Abandon, with customers would not abandon. So just make sure that you do it directly to him and then do acknowledge. People love when we recognize them among other people, right? And that's what I would do. Like we would get like all the way to our general manager or something. They would write an email, right, thanking us. And I would go, no, it is not me. They would thank me and I would go, no, it is not me. It is teamwork. And I would go, what would I say? I would say something like it takes a village to this thing, and I recognize, and I would list all the people that helped me on the project and recognize each and every one so that all the upper management knew, as well as the people that did the work knew. And I would keep recognizing people over and over again because it's never about us. It is never about us.
I had those meetings. I started those weekly meetings, and in the beginning I would, go around the room and acknowledge people for certain things. I used to do it. And then, the boss told me, it's like, they don't get into it. Just stop. Let's just talk about, technical stuff. So he gave me a chance to do it. I did it for a couple of months. And then he's like, I don't think they like responding to it. And he kind of shed this,
But even if he said they are not responding to it, just say, I would still like to acknowledge. And do it in email or do it like one-on-one as well, right? Let me go to Ken. Poor thing, he's been waiting for so long. Sorry about this, Ken. My apologies.
My apologies. I was taking all the attention.
It's amazing how we learn. And so anyway, there's so many things I could talk about, Patricia, and I'm not going to talk. I mean, I feel like you've had an earful of listening to everyone and a lot of things. I just love what I heard. And I think the thing, how I had to, I'm thinking of how much I learned since I've been coming here. And it really has a lot to do with what you're talking about. And I wasn't fully loving myself on a big way. So, and toward the end of my journey, when things would come up for me, and I call that my shadow side. And I realized that if I got a little upset, or the butterflies in my stomach and different things, I knew that I had some attachments to something that I was carrying, and I had to own it. And it'd be so easy to blame others. I can think of how many times, even in the group, where I can remember at the beginning of the group, Poonam would always call me first. And I felt special. And then she started calling other people. And then I would go, and I'm like, what's going on? So these were all opportunities. And I realized that's where my work starts. When I get triggered, or when certain things would come up for me, I'm like, thank you. And just like Caesar says, have gratitude. I started saying thank you to those little irritable little things that were happening to me, and realizing that I had unfinished business somewhere from my past. And I am going to agree with some of the things April said. And she said 4 or 5 months. And I'm like, how long have you been in this job?
I mean, I started in February 1st. So that was...
Right. So that's 9 months. Okay. And so and that was a time, and I remember different times you would bring up your brother and you would bring up.
But I think that was the time when you said it, thank you, because I realized that this was the time when my boss started to telling me not to do things that I was doing when I started. And I was so happy and enthusiastic. And I thought everybody was responding. There was a better energy, things were, and then all of a sudden he starts it's busy season now. Let's just get to stop those things, and
Right. And then you took that personally.
yeah.
Okay. So that there kind of took the gas out of you. Here you are filling yourself up like a balloon, and all of a sudden you get depleted. So that there is a lot of the ego energy. That there is, oh, good, they're all seeing me, they're hearing me, they like me. And this is the part that I feel like I mirror in you, where my biggest wound my whole life until probably a year ago was I wanted people to love me because I wasn't. And until I realized, and then that was around the time, because when I started the group is when I got out of a relationship. And I felt terrible because I wasn't getting my fix. So that was better than nothing. So I had a dependency. So I realized I have a dependency. And then after that, and I have to say, probably the two people, Eileen and Poonam, I want to say, loved me through it by accepting me. They weren't fixing me. They were just loving me. And so that there, I started to feel that. And then I started realizing, okay, I have to do the rest of the work. And then for me to speak, I'm like, I needed to get that out of, so my voice, I was in my heart, but it was broken. I needed to go into my emotions. And then when I went into my emotions, and when I started voicing it, then I could voice, and then I had to start telling myself how much I loved myself, even when I felt I wasn't. And I would say, thank you. And so I needed to have break the paradigm. I needed to change my way of being and go against my grain, even that it felt awkward. And that's what Caesar to me was saying a lot. We got to keep saying it. That's practice makes perfect. And I had to really work my way through and realizing I deserve it. And then as time went, all of a sudden I started to feel a change. So I was the only one that could do that. I could have 1 million people tell me how much I should see something, how much I should love all this stuff. But if I wasn't doing the change within myself, people could tell me until the day, it doesn't matter. I needed to start giving that to myself. So I had to be aware, when does this stuff come up? What is this reminding me of? And then I realized I had to go back to the initial wound. And that was about mom and dad. Things happened to me when I was 3, 4, 5 years old. And then I realized that I was still looking for people to love me the same way I wanted my mother and father to love me. And then I'd be disappointed. And then I wouldn't like you. I wouldn't like other people. And I'm acting like a 3, 4, 5-year-old. And I did that in my adult life. And so then I realized this is why I've been alone. Because it was too painful for me to actually feel what I needed to feel. And when I started that, and then when my heart opened up, my voice started in the group, that's when I started to excel. And then I was so committed. It was like, everything else is priority. I'm coming to this group. So I'm now putting myself first. My well-being now, with what I've learned, exercise that muscle. And now my well-being and taking care of myself is the number one thing. And I now realize I am the relationship that I've been looking for and yearning for, but I never knew, because I always thought I was selfish if I loved myself and took care of myself. But I really had to work through that. And so it's just amazing how the nuggets, the bits and pieces of everything starts to come to play. And I realized how bankrupt I was emotionally, spiritually. And I realized that I kept thinking. I was trying to think everything when I should. So then I had to realize my emotions. For me, I was emotionally bankrupt, and I realized that I need to heal some things that I'm still carrying. And a lot of that was mom and dad. And they keep coming in. And then they didn't have to say it anymore because I started to believe them with what they said. I wasn't worthy. I'm never going to make it. I'm stupid, all this stuff. And I realized that, oh my God, that was my program. And like April was saying, it's the programming. You got to change the programming. And I need to discipline myself to change the programming whenever it comes up. So that fight and flight or that pain and suffering, I need to embrace it. And that's when I would use Ho'oponopono. I say, I'm so sorry I wasn't there for you. I love you, please forgive me. But then I started going more and more into my feelings. And that's what really started with the group. It got me out of my head, my thinking. Because I tried to compensate thinking rather than being in my feelings or my emotions. So it's incredible, but we gotta want it. And it's more than that. You gotta really, it's like I just have to notice so much. And it was like one piece at a time, like putting a puzzle together. What is the missing piece? What do I really need to embrace? So anyway.
What would be your like advice, practical advice? Because for me, I'm getting stuck on the fact that, okay, I notice something ugly about myself, but I don't want to, because it's another argument for me not to love myself. So why would I want to notice those and be aware, right, of those ugly stuff coming? Because then, it's like what were you talking about? Yes, it's just, I almost like avoid this, and I'm trying to not to touch certain things because
that becomes your shadow. That becomes your shadow if you avoid it. Hence said the most beautiful thing, Patricia. The work, Dr. Joe Dispenza's meditations are about getting into the brain-heart coherence. It's getting to the fullness of who we are, the divinity that we are, right?
But in a sense, when it doesn't make sense to me. My mind still tries like, oh, I'm God in flesh. Why do I do those petty little digs to people? If I claim I'm love, why this stuff coming up?
Because
it's still a wound.
Yeah, the digs are automatic behavior. Like you're on automatic.
And
You've done it for 30, 40 years, Patricia. It's not going to go away within 1 second. What April is talking about, neuroplasticity, right? That is why this is called the work. Doing the work. It's like over and over and over and over again, right? But the more you keep doing the meditations, the more you become frequency and vibration, right? The more you're going to be that. You're going to be frequency and vibration. You're going to be less of, I'm telling you, give it a month or two, keep doing the work, and talk to me in 2 months, talk to me in January, and see how much of a difference you feel about yourself. Already in these past 2 weeks, you should have felt, since you focus more on the meditation, you should have already felt better the past week, right?
I did. I did again. And I started meditation a lot, and then the migraine happened. Then I said, well, okay, that I felt great on Thanksgiving. I meditated the entire day practically. Great Thursday, weekend too. I meditated a lot. It was nice. And then Monday morning comes and that chaos, I'm walking in so peaceful and rested and happy. And everybody is in, that mode.
But
I didn't understand how did I bring it, like.
You did not
bring it.
You did not bring it.
That was their stuff.
Yeah, right, you adapted to it. You made that decision when you walked in that door to be a part of that energy.
The moment
instead
you
of
said
carrying that gratitude and that compassion with you, and when you recognize stuff like that going on, Don't engage
Perfect.
in it. Be that
Perfect.
happy, awesome, amazing person. Because you made the choice when you walked in to engage.
Right. The moment you said this should not be happening, the moment you had resistance, that they are in, that is resistance of the mind, this too shall pass. Is that so? You should go, is that so? And just, you go to your desk, you do your work, you do whatever needs to be done, and be calm, right? The moment you judged, you contributed to the same vibrational energy. So I love what Ken said, and that's what it takes, that heart, what Ken is saying, right? Incredible, Ken. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
It's
awesome advice, Ken.
to be in your heart, to be loving yourself. And that is also going to get rid of the not enoughness from your dad, right? Once you start to love this energy that's flowing, like I love, and you have to start to connect, which I started to message you about, in using your actions to know how much you're giving, the selfless giving contribution, your contributions to this Facebook Live Q&A, your contributions to the group meditation, right? Know of that giving, that I'm here to give. The more meaning you give to what your action is, that's the divine flowing out of you, right? And when you feel the divine is flowing out of you, then you get into that alignment of, yes, I'm giving, I'm selflessly giving. Just like, consciousness pours millions of years, it's been pouring. Just like the sun pours its energy, it's been pouring, right? That giving, I mean, I wrote to you about it, right? Acknowledged you that how giving are you in the fact of how much energies you pour into the Facebook Live Q&A, enthusiasm you pour in. The same thing with the group meditation, right? Acknowledge that giving, acknowledge that giving. The same thing at work.
I almost like can't hear it. When you're saying it, it's almost like you're saying about someone else.
Hear it, own it. And that is the new you that Dr. Joe wants you to embrace. Own it that Ken coming here day after day, week after week, right? Every group meditation for the past year, you coming in week after week. I mean, he missed a few weeks because he was traveling but week after week, you're here, like on schedule, on time, early, you are logged in. Even the same thing with group meditations, you're here. You are my rock. Like you are,
yeah,
the moment I see Patricia, you're the wind beneath my wings. I'm doing this for you, right? I know that Patricia will log in. The moment I turn on Zoom, Patricia will log in, and I go blindfold on, right? On the group meditation. The only person I see is you. Other people I have not seen until I take the blindfold off. So I'm doing it for you, right? And
then I fall asleep.
It doesn't matter. You receive, it. Even if you fall asleep, you receive it.
It's still here.
Your soul is still receiving whatever is going on.
You're so grateful for you guys.
So just keep doing the work. Just keep doing your work. Keep doing your work. Just like I told Francesca. Thank you, Dave. Thank you for being with us. So grateful.
Yeah. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you, Dave.
So keep doing the work and feel that, and that's why I do the remote coherence healing, is when you give, right? Just like doing this Facebook Live Q&A, when we give and connect with that giving, it gives meaning to who we are.
Yep.
Right? Because that's the divinity flowing through us. The more you connect that way, the more you connect. If I'm buying organic celery, if I'm buying organic vegetables, I'm giving to the farmers. I'm giving money to the farmers. Connect your paycheck with that. I'm earning the paycheck. When I'm giving to work, because of my giving, I'm getting a paycheck that gives the farmers. Look at this. Look at the divinity in that.
Yeah, I almost heard her say like she wasn't worthy. In a sense.
Right? I'm worthy to receive.
Yeah. the art of allowing, baby. And just, you know, if I just got a last piece of advice for you, just
Sure,
keep
go ahead.
reminding yourself that you are love constantly. And Poonam has some great affirmations too, as far as I am divine. I am the, what do you say, the divine internal genius, or how do you say it, Poonam?
I'm an
Uh,
unlimited genius. I'm an
yeah,
unlimited genius.
yeah, and remind yourself that's what you are. Words are powerful, and it is that conditioning, that momentum that you're trying to break of everything else. These words to yourself will,
Mhm.
it's like, imagine yourself like a slingshot right now. You're being pulled back to skyrocket again. And life is going to do this.
Mhm.
And the better you can start responding to these little things, the easier it is to do this.
Mhm.
You know, the roller coaster gets smaller and smaller and smaller until you finally just, nothing bothers you anymore.
You are inspiration. You, Caesar, you, Poonam, Ken. I mean, Avery, you're inspiration because I want to get where you are. I mean, because I see your journey, your stories. I listened to it and it was incredible. So it's possible. So you
The
are like
journey,
living witness.
inspiration. You don't even realize it. I mean, you come week in and week out, and just your questions alone and how you dig and get so much out of people,
Mhm.
it's like, ooh, that is inspiring as you have no idea. Like
Right.
when I see you, I feel the same way Poonam said about how when she sees you on the Zoom for the meditations, I feel the same way when I see you on here. And as soon as she, you know, introduces Patricia, I just feel just like, woo. I mean, just, I'm serious. That laughter, that's the Patricia I know and love. But just keep reminding yourself that you are who you truly are, and that is love, and that's light.
You are divine. You are divine. On
Keep
that
up.
skyrocket comment, let's end this. It's getting late for you, Patricia and Ken, and
Love you,
for
Patricia.
Caesar.
Thank you, guys.
Love
Thank
all
you,
of you.
everyone, for
Right.
Many
listening and
blessings.
for advice. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Infinite gratitude. Thank you so much for your
Good night,
incredible
everybody.
session. Bye.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.